I'm bringing Iran Bukar. Hey, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. And you?
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for coming on today. Are you in the United States or where are you based out of?
I'm in Perth, Australia. It's just turned midnight here. I'm 12 or 13 hours in the future, depending on where you are in the world.
Oh my God, it's really late for you, and you still came on to bring in great knowledge. I really appreciate you for staying up. And Aaron
Yeah.
is going to be talking about DIY website design for your digital product business.
Yeah.
Aaron is an online entrepreneur who lives off passive income. Wow, this man lives off passive income. How many of you want to have some passive income whereby you're not working for money, money working for you? He lives off passive income thanks to affiliate marketing and a tech support membership where he serves online creators and membership site owners with affordable hands-on tech support throughout their journey of going from an idea to living off passive income. Guys, you need to get on pen and paper because this man is going to teach us about how to build a passive income business, and that is so amazing. And I'm so ready to hear all he's going to be sharing today. So tell us a little bit more about what you do before you go into your message today.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I just wanted to. I know, like, I was listening to the previous segment, and a segment from yesterday, and it's just interesting to see everybody's perspective and everybody's way of communicating and how they share their message. And I think that where I try to fit in, it's all about finding your place in the market and finding where do you fit in, where you can add value. Because I think the lady that spoke before, she said, there's enough money for everybody. There's enough for everybody, and I think that's very true, right? I'm seeing the comments about people saying about passive income. I'm going to give you exactly like realistic expectations as well. Okay, so because there's a lot of pipe dreams about passive income,
Very
right?
true.
Like let's cut the BS as well. It is a lot of active work to get to passive income. Okay, but I'll go through that and kind of run you through a little bit about that as well. My journey has been really simple, right? I mean, a lot of people have their why on why they started online. When they want to live off passive income, they hate their job, whatever it is, they want to take care of their family. They just had kids, they want to be at home. For me, it was pure necessity and needing to make a living. That was it. There was no other reason beyond going online. I was in a transition period of my life. I was 30 years old. I just finished. I worked as a volunteer my whole life, right? I did 14 years in volunteer work, and I just needed to go and make money now. Like, it was just like go and survive in a non-volunteer role, basically. And I couldn't get a job because I didn't go to high school. So, in Australia, it's very difficult to get a job if you don't have some papers, basically. So that's how I ended up online. It was really just pure necessity. 30 years old, can't get a job, need to make a living. I was on the unemployment benefit, and I just needed to make some money. That was it. And it kind of evolved from there. So yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. That is so amazing. Okay, so one more question. How is Australia? How's the weather?
Yeah, well, depends where you are in Australia. Australia's a very big place. Not as big population. I mean, we're like 20 times smaller population wise in the US or whatever, but the space is huge. So I'm in Western Australia, and it is bloody hot at the moment. So it's really warm. I'm seeing outside where I live. I mean, I just bought this apartment. This is a condo. I just bought it. And outside there's a pool. I'm seeing people in the pool. So it's hot. Okay.
Wow, and we're in Atlanta, and it's cool. It was so cool this morning. My wife had to tell me to get a bigger jacket, so
Yeah.
that's good. Okay, so I don't want to eat more of your time. You got 20 minutes and 5 minutes of Q&A, and so I'm gonna get out of your way. Then I'll be back in about 20 minutes. Okay.
No problem. No problem. Okay, hey everybody. So if anybody's listening live, I would love for you to just leave a comment where you are in the world, just so I know. And if you have a website or you don't have a website, just say yes or no. I'd love to know. Now, here's the deal about passive income and DIY website. I want to explain to you, before I tell you the framework of getting your website DIY, do it yourself, whether you know, like for example, using Vonza or using something else, that's up to you, right? You know, but software tools like Vonza, for example, it doesn't really, you know, I personally prefer software tools like that versus WordPress, purely because they are more easier to transfer the framework I'm about to tell you. But you can use whatever you want. But it's going to be, what I'm going to share with you is going to be applicable to whatever tool you end up using and so on. And what's important is you understand why a website. And how is this related to passive income is very simple. The difference between having an online business and being an employee, for example, is the fact that you can make money, and making money is not dependent on you physically. Your physical presence does not determine whether you make money or not make money. That is the difference. So when you're making money online, in having a website, you need to think about the website as a replacement or an extension of you as a human. That's what a website is. It's not about a landing page or a funnel or any of that stuff. Forget about the terminology and all the automations. Just forget about all of that. A website is an extension of you. I want you to imagine for a moment that you are going down an apartment building, you know, just going for a restaurant somewhere, and then you're going down the elevator and you're meeting a stranger, and you have that 30 seconds of going down the stairs in the elevator, and they ask you, what is it that you do? And whether you know it or not, that person happens to be your perfect ideal customer, okay? Now, in that 30 seconds of going down the elevator, you're familiar with the term elevator pitch, you have that chance to tell them who are you, what you do, who you serve, and they need to know by the time the elevator hits the bottom, oh my God, this is the person I need to talk to. I need to know more about them. So you have that 30 seconds. That's where the term about the elevator pitch also comes into play, right? Now, I can give you another analogy. If you're a guy and you're going to you're meeting your girlfriend's parents for the first time, then, and you know, the father is going to ask you, so what is it that you do? Okay. Or vice versa. You know, you might have that. Okay. So when you get asked, what is it you do? You have that 10, 15 seconds to tell the parent, who are you? What is it you do? Now, pretend that that person is your ideal customer. That elevator pitch. Think about it as your headline, your sub-headline, the first 10 seconds of your video on the homepage, the first sentence or 2 sentences of your website or your funnel. That is that section of your website, okay? So the whole point is that when you're doing that type of conversation offline, when you're meeting somebody, the same thing happens online. That's all it is. So if you can just transfer whatever conversation happens offline, that's your website. So now let's just say that the first elevator conversation goes really well. And the person says, oh, okay, I need to talk to you more. And then you go and you stop by a coffee shop to have a discussion, okay? Now that discussion is your sales page. It's your frequently asked questions of your website. It is the features and benefits. It's the pain points. It's the bonuses. It's the pricing. All of these details on your sales page is what would naturally come in that face-to-face conversation. So the first thing is to understand why you're doing a website. The reason you're doing a website is because you cannot be in that elevator 24/7. You cannot be in that shop 24/7. The coffee shop 24/7. You cannot be meeting 10 people at the same time. You cannot be meeting 100 people at the same time. You can't be meeting 2 people at the same time. A website is basically you virtually. It's an extension of you virtually. And when you understand that, all of a sudden the complexity of a website goes away from just technical blah blahs, you know, which, trust me, I when I first built my first website, I didn't build my own website because I was so overwhelmed with all the tech stuff relating to that, right? Domain, hosting, what the hell is all that stuff, right? I didn't understand any of it. So now that you understand that, you can now figure out what is the framework to setting it up, right? So here's the framework of building that extension, okay? The first thing you gotta know is, what is the goal of your website? What is the exact reason you even have a website in the first place? And I'm not talking about your long-term goal of generational wealth or whatever. I'm talking about today, okay? Why do you want to have a website? Do you want to build an audience? Do you want to build an email list? That is the most typical reason why you would start a website in the first place. For example, like we are in a summit right now with Vonza. That's a totally different type of a website. You went through a registration page and all that. That's a summit funnel, okay? A summit website. That's a completely different use case. And that's cool. That's the purpose, is to get people registered to a summit. That's the purpose. So the website, the web pages are built with that goal in mind, right? So think about that for a moment. What is the reason you have a website? Figure that out, get crystal clear. Is it to generate leads? Is it to get people to watch your webinar? Is it to get people to book an appointment to speak with you on the phone? Is it to buy your ebook or your course? What is the reason? For most people at the very beginning, it is one of two things: book an appointment to speak with you, or to build your email list. It could also be to build your audience. So you would maybe send them to your Facebook group, your Instagram page, or your YouTube channel, or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's building an audience, talking to your customers. That's really the two main reasons at the beginning. Once you have that goal in mind and you really figure that out, and I'm talking about a beginner, when you're just getting started, I'm not talking about building a full-blown sales funnel, okay? The next thing is to map out the pages. What are the pages you need? So the pages can be a landing page, a thank you page, and sometimes that's it. Keep it simple. But whatever they map out, that's all you want. Sometimes you want to have an about page, privacy page, terms and conditions. That's okay. Think about those things too. There's obviously, that's not really, there's not enough time for me to explain how to get all that done, but just have a rough idea. And I recommend you just grab pen, paper, sketch it out. Simple, okay? The next thing is you want to, this is step 3 of the framework, is to gather the assets. The assets that you need for that page. Now, what are those assets? Remember that elevator pitch? Remember that conversation in the coffee shop? Those assets are the things that you need. A nice picture of you, maybe. A video saying who you are, what you do, explaining that pitch. The headline, the frequently asked questions. Things along these lines. These are the assets that you need. The logo, the brand colors, the font. Get all that so you have that organized into a Google Doc, or I like to use Airtable as an example. I've got a whole templates for all of that stuff. By the way, if anybody wants the templates for any of this, you can just reach out to me in my Facebook group, and then I'll give you the templates that I have for this, right? Once you've got the assets, you want to do the step number 4, which is find someone else's website that you love. Now, here is the thing. I'm going to tell you a little story. When I started building websites, I build websites as a freelancer for people, by the way. That's what I do. When I started, in addition to affiliate marketing, when I first started building websites for people, the thing is that you got to think about it this way. Here is me, and here is my customer that I'm building a website. They have a picture in their mind of how they want their website built, okay? So they have this vision right here, and they're like, I want this website. Now they need to communicate to me the vision of this pin. Now, the best way to transfer this vision, which is a mental picture, over to me right here, the best way to do that is to actually visually see someone else's website so I can see what they are thinking with. Because then they can point out, I like this about the website, I don't like this, I don't like that, I do like this. And it just goes like that. And you can really transfer ideas much better that way, okay? So that's the next step. Now, you might find that you like 3 or 4 or 5 different websites. and you like one piece of it, as an example, right? Like some people love the headline, or they love the logo, they love the FAQs, or whatever, right? The next thing you want to do is you want to reverse, and that's step number 5, reverse engineer how that website was done, okay? And this can get a little bit technical, but the beauty of it is, doesn't matter what tools you're using, the framework of the websites are typically built on the same fundamentals, which is a section on the website, a column inside the section, and an element. Write it down. Section, column, element. 3 things. And this is a very similar structure that most software tools actually use. And once you understand that framework, you can then really visualize and reverse engineer how someone else did their website and visualize how yours will be built. Section, column, element. Okay. So the section is that block. The column is when you see 1, 2, 3. And then what's inside the column is the element. When you look at sales pages or website, a lot of the times you see at the top, section, 1 column, which is and the element inside is a video. Under it, you then see the column, the section, 1 row, right, or 1 element, and 1 row, and then that element is a button, call to action button, buy now, whatever. Then you might have bonuses. You've all seen bonuses on a page. You might have a section, 3 rows, 3 bonuses, right? Or FAQs. Section, 2 rows, FAQ, 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 FAQ. So it depends on how the website is built. You can reverse engineer. And then when you're going to the back end of your building of the website, you can see, okay, how do I visually build it from the creator side, to the editor, basically, okay? Reverse engineering is a really powerful way, because once you understand how to do it, you can also see how they created the images and things like that. Yeah, section, column, element. So it's really important to know that part. Once you understand the reverse engineering and the sectioning, you can get the website built. Now, let me tell you a little secret. When it comes to the framework that I just explained, section, column, element, once you understand that and you build your website based on that structure, you will find that the amount of mobile editing you need to do, because a lot of the time, a lot of people see their website on mobile, is the editing required to make a mobile friendly website is almost non-existent. I built over 100 websites. The amount of mobile editing I had to do on my websites for me and my clients, 1% of the websites I've built, I had to do mobile editing, maybe 2%, right? You need to understand the framework. And the worst thing you could do with a website that looks terrible is when you don't understand that framework of section, row, element. When you don't understand that and you mess it up, you make the website not just look not pretty, you make it look unappealing, you make it look DIY, and you make it very difficult for somebody to come in and edit it as well, because it's easier to just start from scratch, okay? So that's kind of the framework, okay? So I'm going to recap the 6 steps. Figure out the goal of the website, step number 1. Step number 2, map out the pages, sequence of the pages. Step number 3, gather the assets. Step number 4, find a website that you like, love, or several of them, what you love about it. Reverse engineer how it was built. And then based on all of these, you build it. That's step number 6, okay? So that's what I would recommend you do. This is a very, very simple framework. And the reason this works really well is because you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And you want to keep things simple. Now, the way I personally love to build websites for people and so on is to do it with them, right? When I did that my first year online, as building websites. This was about October 2019. That's when I started building websites for other people. And I enjoyed it. I started with Shopify, and then I kept on progressing to different tools. I did a little bit of Elementor on WordPress, and then I evolved to other tools as well, similar to Vonza. That's the tools that I did, and Vonza works very, very similar, right, in some ways. Same structure. And I could, if anybody has a Vonza website, for example, and they are like, okay, how do I do this? How do I use Vonza effectively? I already looked into Vonza. I mean, I can get on a Zoom call with you and I can map it out with you. And in 2 hours, we can have your entire funnel, entire website built. 2 hours. That's all I need, right? So it's a very, very simple process. Now, when I did the first year building websites for people, I did it for them. And I found that that was good. There was a lot of back and forth, right? And also because of the back and forth, project dragged out. Now I'll tell you, I did something really special in Christmas of not this year, last year. So in December of last year, I wanted to figure out how to have a really productive Christmas. I did not want to take a holiday, to be honest. I wanted to work. Okay, that's me. I like to work. I like to get things done and so on. And I wanted to make money in Christmas as well. I didn't want to spend money. I wanted to make money. So what I did is I told people, I said, look, I will build your website for $50 an hour, basically, which is really cheap. And I said, look, you pay me, buy as many hours as you like, and I'll build your website. But the condition is I do it with you on Zoom. So I basically sold my hours for $50 an hour. I prostituted myself. Anyway, and I said, whatever it is you need, I'll do it. I'll build your website. I'll write your emails. I'll do your copy. I'll do a coaching session. I'll show you how to find clients online. Whatever it is you need, an hour of my time, $50. Within 5 days, I sold 100 hours of my time. Okay. So my December was very busy because they had to use the hours in this month of December. And what it meant is that I built websites for people on Zoom. I was on Zoom like I am now. You're with me. I'm sharing my screen and I'm building your website and you're watching me do it. And I learned by doing that process about a completely new way of building someone else's website, which is to do it with them. So I developed this service called the Done With You service. And the way it works is I build your website for you. I still do it for you. I still do the work, but you're watching me do it. You're watching it getting built. So let's just say you have a Vonza account. We hop on Zoom. You give me the login details to your Vonza account. We go through my framework, goal of the website, map out the pages, gather the assets, find a website that you like, reverse engineer. And step number 6 of the framework, I then do it for you. You're watching me do it. I'm doing your landing page. I'm typing it up. I'm moving all the elements around, creating the section, putting the rows, connecting the pages, connecting the domain, the email autoresponder, and I do it all with you. I did that with somebody 2 days ago. It took us 3 hours to do the entire webinar funnel, the whole thing, everything. We had no copy. We had no landing page. We didn't even know what software to use at that moment, okay? 3 hours, we got a landing page, a thank you page, the domain name connected, the email marketing connected, the first email written, everything done and connected in 3 hours from complete scratch, okay? Now, this Done With You service is what taught me this framework. So this framework is not like, oh, I read it in some book. This is like based on like having built 100 plus websites with people on Zoom. And I would really urge you that if you're going to use Vonza to build your website, for example, it doesn't have to be me. Don't hire somebody to do it for you. Find somebody that is willing to show you how to do it. Now, can you outsource it later? Absolutely. But try to DIY, try to follow the framework I've just given you on your own. If you need help, which I do recommend you get help, because there is going to be probably about 20%, doesn't matter what software you're using, there's going to be about 10, 20% that you're going to be like, oh my God, I don't understand. How do I do this? And you're going to lose so much time. And I really recommend you get help from somebody who can help you with that. It can be me, it can be someone else, doesn't matter. If you want to reach out to me, I'm always open for that. But get somebody to do it with you. That way you'll feel not just getting the website done as a result, but you also, the other result is the confidence. You'll feel confident about updating the website, changing the website, improving it, upgrading it. Because Vonza is a tool, and any tools online, they're just a tool. It's more about the person using it, right? So if you can get confident with how to use it, that's really a great way to get confidence, okay? I'm seeing people's comments. Ida, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I saw some other comments as well.
Yeah.
But that if anybody wants to leave a comment, I would love to just give you any answer any questions as well. I mean, I can ramble on for another half hour, but I think
Yeah. I mean, that was amazing, man. That was a powerful framework that you just listed and shared as well. So how can people find you and follow you? You have a website. I know you're on Instagram, right? Which is the first and last thing. But is there any other way people can find you, follow you, and maybe they need to connect further, or they have more questions to ask you?
Totally. First of all, I'm extremely accessible. So if you were to message me on Messenger, I'll actually reply. So that's the best way. Just come chat with me, right? I'm very hands-on. I'm always at my desk working, even at midnight. The best way to connect with me is come to my Facebook group, basically .com/truthsgroup.com. And if you can't find me, just Google my name, Eran Bukai. Just Google my name. Trust me, you'll find me on whatever platform. Whatever is convenient from you. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm easy.
Thank you so much, man. He's on Facebook, he's on Instagram, he's everywhere. He's the man. You need help with creating passive income or creating your courses or just need some consulting and stuff, please reach out to him. Somebody said, I really love this gentleman talking about websites. All right, that's good. Now you guys waited for a session to be over to start bringing those comments and questions. Okay, but hey, the good thing is that you can always connect with him on social media. Okay, please do so. Thank you, Eran, for coming on. We have to get to the next speaker now. I'll be talking with you offline. I just sent you a message on your IG as well. Okay.
Sounds great. Great.
Thank you for
coming.